Today we are going to deal with a very important topic, and thank you for the good feedback for the previous videos on important relevant topics, overview and study plan for CA final, corporate and economic laws. Today we are going to deal with a very important topic, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. Most of the students feel this is tough topic, and FEMA is divided into two parts for your study purpose. One is FEMA Act 1999 and the FEMA rules. This video deals with the FEMA Act 1999 and being requested by many students, and rule videos can be uploaded and can be telecasted if requested by students. So basically, before you study rule or you want to understand the FEMA, the base thing you have to understand is the concept of Foreign Exchange Management Act. The relevant sections in the FEMA Act is very important, especially the concepts of the FEMA. Unless and until you understand the concept of FEMA, it will be very difficult for you to understand the subject. As you all know, one question is mandatory, 6 marks or 7 marks is mandatory for the CA final exams. So it's very important to understand the concept. So this video enlighten you on the overview and the study plan to how to study FEMA Act 1999. Here we go. And so what is the purpose of FEMA? You will understand that Foreign Exchange Management Act is being preceded by a law called Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1973. The new law or the present law deals with the concept of an act to consolidate and amend the law relating to foreign exchange with the objective of facilitating external trade, payments, and for promoting orderly development and maintenance of foreign exchange market in India. The objective of the act is not that much important for exam point of view, but you must understand one thing: the objective includes facilitating external trade, that is international trade, and regulating the provisions relating to the law relating to the foreign exchange, and of course development and maintenance of foreign exchange market. So basically it's regarding foreign exchange, external trade, and foreign exchange market in India. These are the three things as per the preamble. Before we go further, you must understand what is the meaning of the word foreign exchange. What is foreign exchange? I'll give you a simple example. For example, if I want to go to US now, United States of America, I have only my currency, right? Indian currency. I don't have a foreign currency, US dollar. So what I will do is I will buy some US dollar through a authorized dealer or through a banker, and will convert my INR, Indian National Rupee, into the United States American dollar. So for traveling to USA, I require US dollar. So what I will do, I will exchange my Indian currency with that foreign currency. Likewise, if I am going to London, there is the pound sterling is, if it's pound sterling is the currency of their country, I will exchange my INR with the pound sterling. Likewise, each country, you have to convert. This conversion is called foreign exchange. This exchange is called foreign exchange. So what is foreign exchange? Foreign exchange means converting one currency with that of another currency. Likewise, if a foreigner comes for a foreign visit or an education purpose or for a medical visit to India, they will buy our INR and they will sell their dollar or yen or pound. That means they are now exchanging their currency with that of ours. So what do you mean by foreign exchange? Foreign exchange means converting a currency with that of another currency. The converting may be either by currency or by debit card, credit card transactions, or by traveler's check, or by demand drafts, or by check, etc. So students, you must understand one thing: all thing we are dealing or studying in foreign exchange management is between two parties. One is person resident in India, and two, person resident outside India. Got it? Every transaction under FEMA law is divided into or is between two categories. One is between person resident in India and a person resident outside India, or a person resident outside India and with a person resident in India. Only then there will be foreign exchange. If I am going to enter into transaction with an Indian national, there is no question of foreign exchange comes, because I am doing the transaction only in my INR. Got it? So in FEMA, the basic concept is the transaction is between person resident in India and a person resident outside India, or a transaction between person resident outside India and a person resident in India, and it essentially involves foreign exchange. Unless and until there is a foreign exchange, FEMA has no rule. Got it? Now we will proceed to the study plan. Before you go into the provisions of FEMA, it is very important that you have to study certain cardinal definitions, which is very important. Take it from this slide. These definitions is very important for practical purpose and for exam point of view. What are the definitions? The definitions are stated in section 2. They're stated in section 2, so we have to be a little bit thorough about that definition. Section 2, clause C, that is 1 to clause C, authorized person, you have to study. Authorized person, AD. We have another portion to study authorized person, but I will give an example. Authorized person is nothing but those bankers, those financial institutions authorized by the Reserve Bank of India to deal in foreign exchange. They are called as authorized person, and they are called as authorized persons to deal with. They are authorized to deal with foreign exchange officially by the Reserve Bank of India. Second definition we have to study is capital account transaction 2E. We will explain this later. Current account transaction 2J. Foreign exchange 2N, foreign security 2O, person 2U, person resident in India PRI 2V, person resident outside India PROI W, repatriate to India 2Y, transfer 2ZE. So these are the basic definition you have to study, students. Without studying this definition or reading 2 or 3 times this definition, don't go into the books, don't go into the provisions of FEMA. Got it? So these are the basics of FEMA. So these definitions is the window for you to study Foreign Exchange Management Act. Few of the things we have provisions, so we will explain at that junction. Okay. Now, what is the charging section? Section 3 of FEMA is the charging section of FEMA, which says that dealings in foreign exchange. I am going to deal with that. No person should deal, receive, make payment, enter into any foreign exchange transactions except through an authorized dealer. Simple. Section 3 of Foreign Exchange Management Act says that no person shall deal, receive, make payment or enter into a foreign financial transaction in foreign exchange except through an authorized dealer. So every foreign exchange transactions, either receiving foreign money, either receiving foreign exchange or giving foreign exchange or dealing foreign exchange or entering into a transaction representing foreign exchange should be mandatorily through RBI registered authorized dealer. That is section 3. Now section 4 says that holding of foreign exchange, no person resident in India shall acquire, hold, own, possess or transfer any foreign exchange, foreign security or immovable property situated outside India. Mind you, situated outside India. Because we are talking about person resident in India. So that must be a transaction between person resident in India and a person resident outside India. So in this case also section 4 says that you should not enter into a transaction for either acquiring, holding, owning, possessing or transferring foreign exchange situated outside India. So before you go into the intricacies of the provisions, you must understand that there are 2 provisions in the Act. One is, so these are the 2 sections. These are the 2 sections which you have to study after you have been learning the basics concept, that is basics concept of FEMA. Second category is the definitions of FEMA, and third one is section 3 and 4, which is very important, charging section. Section 3 deals with the restrictions on dealing in foreign exchange, and section 4 deals with the restriction on holding of foreign exchange. Got it? Now we are going to very important topic is section 5 and section 6. Current account transactions and the capital account transaction. This current account transaction is deal in section 5. Got it? And the capital account transaction is section 6. Most of the students fail to understand the concept of this, and this is the edifice of FEMA. If you understand this slide, FEMA is over. Basically, I told you that any transaction entered into between a person resident in India and a person resident outside India, or a person resident outside India and a person resident in India, is categorized as foreign exchange transactions. Only then FEMA attracts. For FEMA, basically the transaction, these foreign exchange transactions are divided into 2 categories. One is current account transaction, in short, CUT, CUT. CUT. And second one is capital account transaction called CAT. So don't forget CUT and CAT. CUT means current account transactions. CAT means capital account transaction. What is the difference between these 2 transactions? I repeat again, foreign exchange transaction under FEMA is divided into 2 categories, broadly divided into 2 categories, current account transactions CUT and capital account transactions CAT. What is a current account transaction? Current account transaction is basically short term, does not usually create asset or liability. It is basically used for travel purpose. It is used for short-term trading. It is used for tour facility, tourism, payments, short-term payments, for education, university education, medical education, stipend, etc., etc., for medical aid supports for your spouse, children, dependent parents, etc., etc., interest on investment, mind you, not investment, interest on investment, dividend income. So these categories are called as current account transactions. Basically, current account transactions are revenue in nature. It is short-term in nature. The examples are put here. These examples are taken from the definition and from the provisions of the FEMA. What are the examples of current account transactions? It's short-term. It does not usually create asset or liability. It's used for traveling purposes, it's used for trading purposes, it's used for tourism purposes, it's used for education purposes, it's used for medical aid purposes, it is like an interest on investment, not investment, interest on investment, dividend on investment, etc. So that is the plan. If you can study and understand these provisions itself, it is very essential for your practical question and knowledge. Now, vis-a-vis what is capital account transaction? Capital account transaction, CAT, is basically long-term in nature, always creates or alters an asset or liability, including contingent liability. It is basically an investment, it is basically a loan, it is basically a borrowing, it is basically dealing in immovable property. So students, being CA students, you clearly know the crux of this slide. Current account transactions are revenue in nature, capital account transactions are capital nature. That means one is short term, another one is long term. One is interest, another one is investment. One is borrowing, another one is interest. See, this is the difference between here. See, borrowing and loan is capital account transaction, but the interest on it is current account transaction. Investment is capital account transaction. The dividend from that investment is current account transaction. So you must have understood this. Now I will give you a slide which clearly demarcates the law between these two things. So here go the jackpot. This is the crux of FEMA law. Don't forget this. All current account transactions are permitted except those are prohibited. That means current account transactions are revenue in nature. It does not touch any asset or liability. It is short term in nature, so it is permitted, except those is prohibited by the Reserve Bank of India or by the central government. Vis-a-vis, if you compare with the capital account transaction, all capital account transactions are basically prohibited because it will always create an asset or liability. It is long term in nature, except those are permitted by the RBI or by the central government. So you got this slide. This slide is a very, very important slide for your understanding, conceptual knowledge, overview knowledge. I repeat again, all current account transactions are permitted except those are prohibited. All capital account transactions are prohibited except those are permitted. This slide is $1 million slide in a way that you must understand the whole concept of FEMA. Now I am proceeding further. Yes, we already discussed this. What is current account transaction? That is dealt in section 5. Capital account transaction dealt with section 6. Now while you study, you have to take a list of capital account transaction CAT, which is stated in section 6 clause 3. Don't forget 6 clause 3. There is a list of capital account transaction which has been listed in section 6 clause 3. Then you have to, very important thing, there is an exemption, that is permitted capital account transaction section 4 and section 6 subsection 4 and section 6 subsection 5. You have to look that. I will give an example. What is this exemption under section 6.4 and section 6.5? Simple. For example, a person may hold, transfer immovable property from India, those properties situated outside India. I will repeat again, a person resident in India can transfer a property, immovable property which is situated outside India, provided, what is the condition, what is the exemption? Provided that property was acquired by him while he was a resident in that country. Got it? For example, Mr. Amar. Mr. Amar is now in India. Mr. Amar wants to transfer an immovable property, say a building which is situated in United States of America. You know that basically it is not possible because it touches an asset, it is an immovable property transaction, basically, so it is a capital account transaction. What is the exemption stated in 6 subsection 4 or 6 subsection 5? Mr. Amar can transfer that asset while sitting in India, provided the condition is he would have acquired that asset while he was a resident in that country, United States of India, or he has inherited that asset from a person who is a resident in United States of America. So friends, don't forget these slides, which is very important for practical purpose and understanding the conceptual clarity of the law. Last 3 slides, don't forget what is capital account transaction, what is current account transaction, what is the difference between current account, that is cut and cat, and what makes a cut special and what makes a cat special. And also you must understand the list of capital account transaction listed in section 6 clause 3, section 6 subsection 3, and don't forget to study the exemption, express exemption stated in section 6 subsection 4 and section 6 subsection 5. So we will move further now. So the difference between cat is over. Now we are going to the other portions. Usually students study only this much, like when you study capital account and current account transaction, and of course some rules which we will deal in the next video, you will stop the learning. But no, FEMA is a dangerous law. You have many more to study. So take it from me, there are few other areas you have to study apart from this current account and capital account transaction. What are they? Section 7 deals with export of goods or services. A simple section which speaks about declarations. Section 7 says that while an exporter goes to export his goods or services, he have to give a declaration to the Reserve Bank of India as to what is the value of the things you are going to exporting, what are the particulars of the things you are going to export. If the value is not ascertainable at that point of time, then the fair market value. There is rule for that. There is some form specifically. You have to study that also. So don't forget to study section 7, which deal with the obligation of an exporter with regarding to the export of goods and services under the FEMA 1999. Then you have to study law relating to realization and repatriation of foreign exchange, and you have to study, this is section 8 and this is section 9. Okay, this is section 8 and this is section 9. There is a correction in the slide. Section 9, realization, repatriation of foreign exchange and exemption from realization, repatriation of foreign exchange. Section 8 and 9 is a pack. A question may arise from section 8 and 9. What is repatriation? Section 2 clause Y. What is repatriation? Bringing into India the proceeds of foreign exchange earned from outside India. Whatever you had earned in the outside country, you have to bring back to your Indian origin. So that bringing back concept is called repatriation to India, but there is some exemptions, the stipend, honorarium, regular trade. There are things which is exemption. You have to study section 9 also. Friends, this is another pack. I will conclude once again what are the packs you have to study, but I am just going to the provisions now. Then the very important thing is major areas are over. Now the very important area is section 10 with regard to authorized dealer. Very important provision from exam point of view. Don't forget, I told you that usually students stop studying FEMA after studying current account transaction, capital account transaction. No, the big game is here. Again, the provisions relating to authorized person is very important for exam point of view. Section 10 read with section 2 clause C, that is the definition of authorized person. In here you have to study, what are the things you have to study? Who can be an authorized person? What is the method of application? That should be in writing. The Reserve Bank of India will authorize an authorized person or authorized dealer by giving a certificate in writing, which will be subject to some conditions. If he violates the conditions or he violates the Reserve Bank of India directions, or if in the public interest, that certificate of registration will be withdrawn. So these provisions are very, very, very important, and you have to study the inspection of authorized dealer under section 12 also. So here don't forget to study section 10 and section 12. So friends, these are the areas you have to study in the administrative point of view. Now again, slides going into, you have to study penalty, very important for penalty exam point of view. The questions has been asked with regarding to penalty. Section 13 of the FEMA deals with penalty, which says like this: if the penalty, the offence is quantifiable 3 times of the sum involved, else up to 2 lakhs. What is the penalty? If the offence is quantifiable, then 3 times. For example, 1 lakh is the offence which you had made, then 3 lakhs is the penalty. So I will repeat again, the penalty is divided into 2 categories, whether it is quantifiable or not. If it is quantifiable, 3 times of the sum involved, and if it is not quantifiable, up to 2 lakhs. And for continuing offence, every day you have to pay rupees 5,000 penalty. No criminal liability. This is civil law. There is no criminal liability. But if you don't pay the penalty within 90 days of the charge or the order of the adjudicating authority, then you will be facing civil imprisonment. Mind you, basically FEMA is now a civil law, that's not a criminal offense, but if the penalty amount, if you don't pay within 90 days, then you have to suffer imprisonment up to 6 months if the amount which is claimed, that is the penalty claimed, is up to 1 crore, and if the amount is above rupees 1 crore, then the imprisonment will be up to 3 years. I will repeat again, what is the imprisonment scenario? The imprisonment scenario is you are not paying the penalty within 90 days. If you don't pay within 90 days, you will have to face civil imprisonment. How many tenure? What is the tenure of civil imprisonment? That will depend upon what is the amount of penalty. If the amount of penalty is up to rupees 1 crore, then 6 months civil imprisonment. And if the amount of penalty claimed is more than rupees 1 crore, then the civil imprisonment will be up to 3 years. Like company law, other law also, here is the provision for compounding. You can apply for compounding under section 15, and your application will be processed or it will be accepted within 180 days of receipt of application by the Directorate of Enforcement. You can apply for compounding of your offence, and that compounding will be the application will be accepted and it will be compounded within 180 days by the competent authority, especially the Directorate of Enforcement. So this slide will fetch a mark. Don't forget about the prosecutions, especially penalty. If you don't pay penalty, what is the imprisonment, and for compounding, what you have to do. So this slide is again important from exam and practical point of view. We are moving. Other provisions regarding administration, adjudicating authority, section 16, appeal to special director, section 17, appellate tribunal, section 18, appeal to appellate tribunal, time limit is 45 days. Most of the all laws, the appellate tribunal time limit is 45 days. Disposal of appeal by the appellate tribunal is within 190 days. Don't forget, you need not present your case directly. You may directly, or you can appoint assistants, or you can appoint a representative who may be a qualified advocate or a practicing chartered accountant. Then of course, appellate tribunal above, you can go for appeal under section 35 to the Honorable High Court. And of course, in any law, you have the contravention of companies by company, which I had already dealt in the other law, like Securities Counter Regulation Act. This slide is on regarding to the prosecution and what are the remedies, but is very important. Friends, this will end the FEMA law. How is it? Now I will give you a recap of the provisions which you have to study. Shall I? Pack 1. You note down, okay? Pack 1. What is the objective of FEMA? Got it? Pack 1, objective of FEMA. Pack 2, definitions. At least study all these definitions. Okay? Definitions, which is very important for exam point of view and to understand the basics. So, first pack is objectives, purpose. Second pack is definitions. Third pack is charging section, section 3 and section 4. Fourth pack is very important. Cut and catch, that is current account transaction, capital account transaction, whole concept you have to study, whole concept, right? And this adage from me is very important. This is basically gives you the conceptual knowledge. So pack number 4 is about current account and capital account transactions. And the provisions which already discussed, and I will say the pack number 5 is the list of capital account transaction, and especially the permitted capital account transaction, that is the exemptions for capital account transactions. Then pack number 6 is export and goods of services, which is very important. Pack number 7, right? Pack number 7 is section 8 and 9, which regarding to realization, repatriation, exemption of repatriation. Pack number 8, which is regarding to authorized person, their inspection. Pack number 9 is regarding to penalties and prosecutions, payments, civil imprisonment, compounding. And lastly, pack number 10 is regarding to adjudicating of the offences. So students, 10 packs you have to study in FEMA, which is very important for your exam point of view. Basically, I will give a bird's eye view about how to study FEMA. Even though I have discussed lot of things, but I will explain you once again. You just read half an hour to 1 hour the definitions. 1 hour to understand capital account and current account transaction, and you refer to your revision test papers and practical questions so that you can practice some practical questions from there. You spend half an hour to penalty, imprisonment and compounding. Another half an hour for appeal, appellate provision, appeal to special director appeals, appeal to Honorable High Court, time limits, etc. And ultimately half an hour to altogether overall view. So this is about the FEMA Act, and you have to study FEMA rules also, especially the prohibited capital account current account transaction and permitted capital account transaction. I repeat again, you have to study the prohibited current account transactions and permitted capital account transaction, which is divided into 3 schedules, rules, etc. If demand comes, surely you will get one more video on that topic. Friends, don't forget to subscribe my channel Bilu Balakrishnan on YouTube, so that you will get the notification when I upload a video. And I have an email ID here, bilubalakrishnancs@gmail.com. Please request video topics so that I can take topics in this tough time where you spend time in your home. I once again pray for your health. Let we all become more stronger soon, and more freedom from the ailment of the diseases which has been happening. We all will pray together. God bless you all. Stay healthy and stay healthy. Thank you.